Believe it or not, I recorded shredder videos and I just didn't do everything how I'm meant to do it. So that's why I've been uploading and I've just been shutting down language anyways. But that's besides the point. Today we've got Vitaly can just confess. I actually want to see if he gets put in jail now. Let's go straight
He
into
broke
it.
our laws.
Okay.
He broke our laws. He broke Philippine
By the way, subscribe to me and subscribe to 15 minutes as well.
laws here in our country. So he has to stand trial here.
Alright, so believe it or not, Vitaly, the nuisance streamer, is even more screwed than we previously believed. Because there was just an interview that was dropped on a Filipino channel, and this lady is interviewing the Undersecretary of Interior, and he will be providing amazing information, a lot of updates. The main one that I think is really interesting is that Vitaly already confessed to these crimes, even though he had his lawyer present. So it's going to be very hard for him to defend himself in court. There are several other updates, but for now, take a look at the interview.
And now let's discuss that and more with Interior Undersecretary Donnie Puno, who joins us now live here in the studio this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you, Yusek, and thank you for joining us here on Morning Matters.
Good morning, Pauline. Thank you for having me.
It's a Holy Week, but here you are, still working.
Yes.
No rest for...
Government employees don't get breaks.
And this is your first live interview,
Yes,
I heard.
yes, it is.
And we have so many topics to discuss today, Yusek. Let's start off with that Russian vlogger who made quite the headlines for his content.
Yes.
I mean, you even have the president commenting, expressing his dismay that should not be tolerated. Give us an update, Yusek. What's the latest on the investigation, the charges on this Russian vlogger?
So briefly, what happened last week, DILG Secretary John Remulia called for a press conference to present the Russian vlogger, Vitaly Starovetsky. This was based on a blotter that was filed in Taguig, where Vitaly, based on the report, committed disruptive and inappropriate acts, to quote the report.
Who filed the blotter?
Some victims in Taguig. So I'm sure you've seen
themselves.
Yes, I'm sure you've seen the videos. He was caught harassing a Filipina. He tried grabbing the cap of a security guard, as you can see there. And then there were other acts that he committed in Boracay. You know, this guy has been around. He's been doing this since 2012 all over the world. He's been in the States, he's been to Brazil, Egypt, the UK, doing this sort of thing. Now, Secretary John Vic has said he violated our laws and he disrespected Filipinos. You know, Filipinos we are friendly people, we are hospitable people. But this guy took advantage of us. And ang malas niya, you know, if other countries merely deported him, ang malas niya ngayon, you know, his tough luck is that we have Secretary Remulia saying now that we're not going to let him off easy. So he will not be deported. He will stand trial here. He will face.
That means, Vitaly's messed up. His career's done. His career's finished. Vitaly ain't going nowhere. He's gonna be in the Filipino jail, and he's just gonna probably come out in like 20, and not 20 years. That's crazy, but like 5-10 years, and he's just gonna be a changed man. And hopefully that should set the precedent going forward for every other streamer that wants to go do it.
Face the charges here, and hopefully he will be jailed here.
So where's Vitaly right now, Yusek?
Vitaly is currently detained at the Bureau of Immigration's detention center in Camp Bagong Diwa.
Okay.
And he will await trial there.
And what charges specifically will be filed against?
There are several charges that he's already facing. There are several counts of unjust vexation. There's theft, attempted robbery, even I think is one of the cases that he's facing. You know, in the inquest that was conducted, he admitted to it. In the presence of his counsel, he admitted to doing those acts.
You heard that right. The moron actually confessed. He confessed.
It's a weird one because maybe he confessed to try to get a plea deal. I don't know, but I don't know much about politics in the Philippines, but he couldn't really like deny it, could he? Because there's so much evidence and footage of him going around doing the stuff, and everyone's seeing coverage on it now. He couldn't really say no, I've never done that. Like you have to, like it's crazy because the evidence is in your face, so you can't deny it.
Confessed to committing crimes in the Philippines. How stupid can you be? Anyways, he got away with doing shit across the world for so long without any consequences, and he assumed that Philippines was just another country he was going to shit on. Well, newsflash, Vitaly, you just royally screwed up.
So, like I said, Secretary John Vic wants him to stand trial here, and he'll face the consequences here.
But can he argue that it was all for content? I mean, for social media?
So personally, I think that if he were to argue that it was for social media, it was for quote unquote content, that makes it 10 times worse. Because if you're just harassing people for clout, it shows how you have so little respect for the citizens around you, and that clout is the only thing that matters in your mind. So if he were to argue it was for content, personally, I think they should give him double the sentence.
Yeah.
He can argue it all he wants, right? But the bottom line is he violated laws. He committed acts against Filipino citizens, which is against our laws. So he can argue it all he wants. He can take it to court.
So, Yusek, I mean, what message is the DILG trying to send here to foreigners who come to the Philippines to make content and, I guess, also disrupt the lives of Filipinos while they're here?
You know, creating content such as Vitaly's, you know, he can go about doing that all he wants. But, you know, it was in an editorial in Manila Times the other day, and they were saying, while arguments rage about regulating content and such, let's not forget that there are already existing laws that people need to follow. And he tried creating his content at the expense of the Filipinos, making them look like fools. That's what Secretary John Vic didn't like. So we'll await the trial, and we'll see what happens.
You know what I found quite interesting also?
I don't want to change. I don't want him to be too crazy with the laws, because I do want to go Philippines and make videos as well. And I don't want him to be the reason why I actually can't do the videos I want to do, which would be really sad. Because like it's gonna get to a time where you can't even have the camera out and look like you're vlogging, because then they're gonna just get on people just like eating in their food, and that will be due to everyone else being like a bad apple. So it will be really sad if they start changing everything just because of him.
Yusek, during this particular press conference that we were showing earlier, the demeanor also of Vitaly, right?
Yeah, he was rude the whole time the secretary was talking to the media. He was in the back, he was saying things, he was mumbling aloud.
Yeah.
He was disruptive. His behavior is totally disruptive.
That is 100% facts. He was.
I think he because obviously he's Russian, and Russia like already one of the superpowers in the world, and he's I think he's got an American passport. I think because of them two reasons he feels like he's untouchable, but he's very much touchable.
Being his usual self, a total asshole. And I think what the Filipino government should do is do another press conference in about a month. After he's been living in that prison for quite some time, trust me, his behavior will change. He will be humbled, and I think it will show the world even more that Filipinos, they just don't mess around.
He wasn't apologetic.
He was not apologetic at all.
Okay.
You know, good thing for him that the secretary was able to control his temper. Hindi siya pinatulan ni secretary. But really, he was even at the press conference, he was very in the presence of PNP personnel, in the presence of our secretary. He acted that way.
So I guess the question right now, Yusek, is the DILG doing anything, or does the DILG plan to do anything to curb the misuse of these kinds of behavior on social media and you know, potentially harm Filipinos?
You know, we've had several discussions over the past couple of weeks with PCO Secretary J. Ruiz and the DICT Secretary Henry Agu. And this has to be an effort between the three departments. And I think we're headed in that direction. This is all in line with the President's order to go after fake news. You know, fake news, disinformation, misinformation, all of this content.
Wait, that's a bar? That is a bar, man. Said disinformation, misinformation. Wait there.
Social media that's wreaking havoc already online. There has to be a way to regulate this. PCO Secretary J. Ruiz said that he has met with representatives of the content of the platforms, of the various platforms, to get them to cooperate.
So I think that's really important what he just said. People need to put a little bit of pressure on the platforms. For example, when it comes to fake news, I would assume a lot of that is on YouTube and TikTok. When it comes to more dangerous content, then that is on Kick and Party, and sometimes Rumble. So those platforms need to be held accountable if they are actively encouraging criminal acts, like what was going on with.
What they could do, they could just ban the platforms in they could just ban the platforms in the in the region, because I'm pretty sure like they're able to ban certain sites like gambling sites. When you go Korea and you try to go on like Paddy Power or any other gambling site, it's banned anyways.
With Vitaly, now they did ban him right away, but that was just to protect themselves against possible liability. There are plenty of other nuisance streamers on Kick that are doing really good, and they're part of the Kick program, and yet they're nuisance streamers. They harass people on a daily basis.
In terms of just monitoring what kind of content is out there.
But just to follow up also, Yusek, just to make sure that this is being done lawfully and
Sure.
with due process. He's Russian. What if the Russian government asks to, let Vitaly face the charges instead in their jurisdiction?
He broke our laws.
Okay.
He broke our laws. He broke Philippine laws here in our country. So he has to stand trial here.
All right. Well, I did say we will be discussing a lot of topics today,
Yes.
so let's shelf that already.
So I think that was really important what he just said right there, is that even if the Russians somehow wanted him to come back to Russia, maybe they want to send him to the front lines or something, the Filipinos are not going to comply. And I think this is sending a clear message, is that if you mess around in the Philippines, no one will be able to help you. The embassy, your home country, it doesn't matter. You will have to face the consequences of your
He's gonna get so skinny not being on steroids. I'm actually here for it.
actions. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
If you use ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, by the way guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you for all the love and support you've been showing me. Sorry for the slow/delay replies. I'm going to be doing a lot more and more frequent. But make sure you subscribe to me and subscribe to him.